on. Well, that's a great way to start. I'm all muted and I'm over here getting all excited. But hey, welcome to Tuesday Talk. How about that intro, huh? I'm pumped up today. We've had an incredible weekend with the Snowmageddon, hurricane force, whatever they call it, whatever. We got about 12 and a half inches down here at the house, and I had to plow the driveway like 3 times with that snowblower. But hey, shout out to Troy Built, man. Great snowblower. So here we are. It is Tuesday. I think it's the 27th of January, 2026, and we are live on Tuesday Talk here on YouTube. Thank you to everybody who's waiting over there. Really appreciate that. Got a handful of folks tuning in prior to 10 o'clock, and I am stoked, right? Like Karen's on here. Karen's our friend from Mike Harmon Racing. She's been a let's just call her a little sister for about the last 9 years, I think it's been, and she's going through some stuff. So, man, prayers and love and support and all kinds of things for our friend Karen. We love you, honey. All right, so thanks to Joanne and Katie and Muggle this. I don't know who that is, but he's on here too. So she, he, she, it, whatever. I'm sorry. Didn't mean to assume anything there. We're going to talk today with our buddy Andy, and I got to spend a little bit of time with Andy two weekends ago, I think it was, at the midwinter conference for the Ohio American Legion. A nice resource down there. They had a 3-day event. Got to hang out with our boy Nacho from the American Legion, who runs a bunch of stuff for the American Legion and for veterans to get their disability payments, disability status going. I really wanted to go and do some other stuff, but I think I want to jump right into the deep dive this week, right? Last week we didn't have a guest, and we talked a little bit about the VA and the Code of Federal Regulations, Title 38, Chapter 4, or Chapter 38, Title 4. I can't remember which one it was, but we talked about the VA's definition of post-traumatic stress and how there's different levels of it, 0, 10, 30, 50, 70, and 100, I believe they were. And we walked you through those a little bit, gave a little bit of an explanation of what the VA classifies as PTSD. I really hope it helped. Tune back in. You can go back and rewatch it in our live shows there. I think we made a couple reels of it as well. So those are out there as well. And if you need some help, hey, there's plenty of people out there. Just think of the American Legion, the VFW, the DAV, Disabled American Vets, and then your local VSC. Every county in Ohio has one, and I believe there's one in every state. If not, oh, there goes my mom saying there's no sound. Please tell me everybody can hear me. Karen says she can hear me, so we're good. I did have a couple 5 seconds there where there was no sound. So yeah, I have a nice little introduction here, and I wrote it along with a little help from the AI people, and I'm going to go ahead and give it a shot here because I think Andy deserves this. So here we go. We are going to get into our deep dive scenario, and I'm going to put him on camera as well. Our deep dive today, our guest is Sergeant Andrew Andy Karnes. And here comes his picture right there. That's Andy right there. He is the Director of Operations. Andy served as a cavalry scout in the United States Army from 2001 to 2005. He enlisted in March of 2001, and he got to his first duty station just 2 weeks prior to 9/11. During his time in uniform, he deployed to both Kosovo and Iraq, earning numerous awards and recognitions, including a Purple Heart, multiple Army Commendation Medals, 3, if I remember correctly, the Order of the Spur, the Gold German, I'm going to mess that one up, so I'm not even going to try it, and several prestigious unit awards, including the Presidential Unit Citation and the Valorious Unit Awards. Unit Citation. After leaving the Army in 2005, Andy, like many veterans, including myself, struggled navigating the challenges of transition, of civilian life, of isolation, of rebuilding that purpose. It was during that time that he discovered iRacing, which not only filled a void, but eventually led him to the veteran-focused community of Goatlocker Racing. And we are proud to be partnered with Goatlocker for a second year this year. What began as a search for a connection evolved into a key leadership role. And today, Andy serves as the director of operations at Goatlocker Racing, helping ensure no one has to feel the kind of isolation that he once felt. Andy's lived experience give him a unique and powerful perspective on the community, purpose, and the importance of having a place to belong, especially for those of us who have served. Andy, it's an honor to talk to you today, my friend. And I want to bring up your hashtag real quick for Goatlocker. Nope, it froze. Gosh darn it. Okay. It's one lap at a time.
That's right.
It's one lap at a time.
One lap at a time. Yep.
Love that. I love that. So, Andy, thanks for joining us, man. You and I got to spend some pretty incredible time together a couple of weeks ago over in Indianapolis. No, we were down in Columbus.
Yeah.
And it was the first time Goatlocker and Save 22 actually met in person. We've done a lot of our business over Zoom calls, over Teams meetings. It was really nice to put a face to the name, and the heart and desire that you guys have really stood out while we were together. So thank you for being available for this. Thank you for offering to do this for us. And I'm excited to talk for the next. Andy says he's a talker, so I hope we have plenty of time to do this. And I did want to dive just right into this because you and I, like I said, spent that time together a couple of weeks ago. And I want people to know what drew you to the service right away, right? So 2001's happening. You know, we just got out of 10 years of Iraq with the Gulf War stuff. We were in and out. Everybody was deploying over there, doing this peacekeeping mission, right? And then 9/11 happens, and you had just gotten to your first active duty base. What drew you to the Army, first of all? And then what was that experience like for you?
So what started to get me to look into the military service was I just couldn't accept the life that I was living. I was 20. I was a little older. I was 23. So I have a 10th grade education. I got a GED because the things that the school were teaching, I knew I was not going to be college bound. I knew that I would enter the workforce at some point, and the things that were being taught were basic to me. This isn't a knock on any education system, but for me, it was memorization skills. Here's your chapter. Here's today's lesson. You're going to learn it. You're not going to learn it. You're going to memorize it. And then you're going to take a test 2 weeks later to see how smart you are. That's not a proof of intelligence. That's a proof of memorization. So that did not work well for me and the way my brain is wired. So I have a 10th grade education. I left and went into the workforce in a trailer factory. Where I'm from, we build more RVs in that one county than the world combined. So it is very RV dependent. You work like a dog, and it's a tough life. I did that until I was 23, and the guy I worked with was probably pushing 60, and he was just madder than hell at the world. I mean, just meaner than a junkyard dog, drunk every night. And I looked at him one day, and it just came to a reality that that's probably going to be me someday unless I make a change. I still thought at 23 education wasn't going to be the path for me. And my ultimate goal and desire was to be a police officer. So I knew I had to do something to warrant an application and a resume worthy to be considered for a police department. So I decided, the only way you're going to be able to do this with the way you're wired and the way things are is go to the military. And I walked into the recruiter and I said, I have 10th grade education. He said, no problem, get a GED. The Army will take you. He said, what do you want to do? And I said, well, for a resume, I need to be in combat arms, but I don't want to be in the infantry. And he said, why? And I said, well, because everybody's in the infantry. All the movies are about the infantry. I said, I don't want to do what everybody else does. I want something different. And we looked at tanker and we looked at scouts, and I was intrigued by the cavalry, and that's the path I chose. And very glad and fortunate that I did. So that's how I came to join.
So let's talk about that real quick, because the cavalry is not horses. It's not horses and cannons, right? So let everybody know what first cav is.
The cavalry.
Let them know what the cavalry is.
Basically two different categories. You have light cav and heavy cav. Nowadays, our horses are the Bradley fighting vehicle or the Humvee. I was assigned to a Humvee. We were light scouts for an infantry battalion and an infantry brigade. So we would be called what would be the eyes and ears of the Army. Whether it's offensive or defensive would depend on what our posture would be. But we are sent out on observation posts and OPs and kind of the first in, last out, kind of snooping and pooping at night, and go in and see what intel we can gather and give to our commanders so that we can figure out what assets are necessary to accomplish our mission. So our biggest weapon was the radio. What intel can we gather?
Snooping and pooping.
Snooping and pooping, man. That's what we do. Yeah. I loved it. I loved being a scout. It's, to put it in layman's terms, that everybody in a
hilarious.
Conventional warfare system, not Iraq, but conventional warfare, we get paid to play the largest game of hide and seek. That's basically what our job was.
Dude, I'll tell you, that sneaking around stuff, and it does not compare to what you did, but as a kid, you know, playing Army and war and sneaking around or going around doing, I loved our SEER training. We used to get updated SEER training. I think it was every year. We'd have to go out to like the range at Kent or Ravenna, and you're supposed to sneak around and get to a certain point. And I'm not really 100% sure anybody was ever really chasing us or if they were even watching this, you know, but you know, we did our thing. And I think once they came in and got us with a helicopter, that was pretty cool. But I loved that kind of stuff, man. So I'm kind of jelly that you got to do that. I'm not jelly of what you had to endure. But I understand what you're talking about. That is the epitome of, in my opinion, warfare, right? I have to sneak around. I got to report. I got to send it back, defend myself if it happens, maybe take out a couple if it need be. But you're like on the line with Ford observers, JTACs. Like you guys are up in the front of everything, right? Yeah. Hey, your boy Patrick just got on. Hey, what up, Senior Chief?
What's up?
So he's on. So you get to your first base, and I don't have my note up. I forget what your first base was, but you got there 2 weeks before 9/11.
Yeah.
And I'd like to say as a young, 18, 19-year-old, but you had already had some life experience. You knew what it was like to struggle in your 20s. You knew what it was like to not have that consistency. And here you are, you've been in about 6 months, I think, at that time. 9/11 happens.
5 months, yeah.
What's your thought process? What's going on? What's the area like? What's the base like? What's the mentality like on 9/11?
That was really wild because I didn't join. I consider folks that joined after 9/11 to be far more heroic than I was. I joined to get a good resume. There was no combat operations. There was no war. I mean, it was like, this is going to be, I'm just going to go in, do my time, get out, and I got a great resume. I'll learn some discipline. I'll learn all the things that the military can teach me. And that was the intent behind it. But then 2 weeks later, obviously the entire world shifted. And it was just like, wow, this changes things.
Everything.
The game changer. That night, because we were 6 or 7 hours ahead on time zones. I was in Germany. I was stationed over at Vilsik in Germany at Rose Barracks. The time difference, the towers, it was, to my recollection, was around 9 a.m. So you're talking about 4 p.m. We're kind of wrapping up for the day. I remember we were doing weapons maintenance. So we were finishing up for the day, getting ready to turn our weapons in and things. By 7 o'clock that night, within 3 hours, we were on complete lockdown. All of our phones, computers, PlayStations, Xboxes were confiscated for communication reasons, so we could not communicate with outside. So we can't call and say, "Oh, you won't believe what they got me doing," So operational security, so we were confiscating all our equipment, and by 7:30, I'm a 2-week-old private in the Army, and I'm standing at our side door of our barracks in full battle gear with a loaded weapon. And that was the reality of that training goes out the door real quick when it comes into, okay, here's a loaded weapon. Now you're going to go stand at your door. You send anybody in a U.S. uniform to the front door, and anybody not in a U.S. uniform, we're going to have a situation, because we were on complete lockdown at that point. Because we had no idea, the reach.
Yeah, and
what were the targets, all those things. It was so new,
right?
Really talking a couple hours old at that point. So that was a real reality check for me to be. Yeah. And the people helped. I was a little older. That kind of helped because I did have some life experience. I was, 17, 18, 19, staying
Sure.
there. But yeah, it was a game changer. We'd already been slotted to go to Kosovo in 2000, and I left for Kosovo February of 2002. So we were already slotted to go. So we missed round 1 of Iraq because of that.
So you were already on the hook.
Yeah, we were already on the hook for Kosovo at that when 9/11 happened.
Yeah.
So we were already starting our train up for that. But while we were in Kosovo, they're like, hey, it's going to be a quick turnaround. We're going to get done here for Kosovo. We're going home in, it would have been, October, November, and we're going to refit, retrain, and we're going to deploy in 04, in February of 04. So we weren't home very long before we redeploy again.
We have a comment here on YouTube. Charles is talking about he was a heavy scout and a light scout. He entered as a tanker in 86 and as a 19E. I don't know what that means. Transitioned to 19K in 88 and then a 19D in 03. So he's got a little bit of time. Well, do those MOSs mean anything to you? 19E, yeah, 19K, 19D?
19 kilos a tanker. We'll forgive him for that. Everybody makes mistakes in life. It's okay. But he did come to his senses and get the D, the 19D. So 19 Delta is our MOS designator. Yeah. Love you, Charles. Don't go be a tanker.
Oh, okay. All right. Whiskey Pete. Whiskey Pete's on. Thanks, Whiskey Pete, for being here, man. I always love it when you pop on. Thanks, man. Your experience is very similar to mine with the first Gulf War. I had been in about, I was only in 2.5, 3 months when Saddam attacked Kuwait in 1990, right? And you're at a tech school, you're at AIT, AT, whatever they call it back then, and all the rumors are going wild, right? You're going to go to school 12 hours a day, 7 days a week. You're going to get out of here. You're going to get to your base. You're going to go straight over to the war. And of course, none of us knew anything, right? None of us knew a damn thing. It's the 90s. There's no internet. You have to take what your first shirt and your commander are telling you, your NCOs. What are you doing? And I, like you, was in a communication restricted job. I was electronic warfare. Our schooling was classified. You'd only go for 6 hours a day. You couldn't take any books out. You couldn't bring anything extra in. All those things. At 19 years old, you're just thinking, holy shit, like a light switch. I wanted to go to war, but holy shit, not within the first 2 months of getting in the service. Like, Jesus. 19E is an M60 tanker. Okay. I don't know what that is, but all right. Awesome. Sounds like a pretty cool job. A lot of bouncing around, a lot of noise.
Yeah.
That we were talking about earlier before we got on in our little pre-show thing. So you're over in Germany, 9/11 happens, you're on lockdown, communications, you can't let anybody not in a military uniform on your base. This is 2001, so I think we have a little bit of email. We do have a little bit of the internet. Not so much cell phones, I don't think, at the time. And you're headed over to Kosovo. So you go over to Kosovo at the beginning of 2002. I, like you, I had a break in my service, though. So I got out in active duty in December of 99, and I rejoined the reserves in 2001. Ironically, the 9/11 was a Tuesday in September. The weekend before was supposed to be my physical to get back in. And it's the end of the year. It's the reserves. There's not a lot of money. They don't have docs. So they canceled our UTA. I couldn't come in. That following Tuesday, 9/11 happens. Everybody's on lockdown for 48, 72. I think I get a call on that Friday that says, you're coming in October and you're going to get your physical and we're going to get you in November. I was on my first UTA. And when did we get activated? 03. So we got activated in 03 as a reserve unit for C-130s to go over and support. We were in all kinds of places. I think our first one was Bishkek, Kyrgyzstan back then. And we were doing the swap over from Marines from the first invasion force, or from that first set of invasions, over to the Army. That's what we did. And I think I got the award around here somewhere. It says something like 34,000 troops traveled through our aircraft in like 90 days. I think it was insane, the amount of buildup and all that good stuff. It's crazy. So you do Kosovo, you come back, and then you go over to Iraq when did you go over Iraq? End of 2003, beginning of 2004? I think we talked about this.
February 2004 to March 2005.
2004. February 2004, March 2005. So 12, 13 months you're over in Iraq. How was Kosovo different from Iraq? Kosovo was a peacekeeping force, supposedly, right? And Iraq was, what do we call that? An offensive force, right? We went in at that time to a war. Yeah. So how did those two deployments differ for you?
For one, you don't know how to use a scout in peacekeeping operations other than walk around the village doing like a random patrol once in a while. But we're not cut out for that kind of mission. So we got stuck on a lot of training exercises. We did get to go out and patrol some, we call them like a goat path, or, the path, little alleyways and out in the woods, and looking for goat trails and see if there's any smugglers for weapons or drugs or anything like that. So we got to do some fun stuff like that. But mainly we were in force protection. We were gate guards, and it was terrible. If anybody that hasn't done force protection on a post for that extensive amount of time, it is the worst thing. To me, it was the worst job in the military. You stand in a tower looking at a bean field, 4 hours on, full gear, standing, no chairs, no nothing. You just stand there for 4 hours. You get 8 hours off, 4 hours on, 8 hours off, and you do that 7 days a week for 4 months straight. And it is just the most boring thing you can do on the planet, is stand there, look at a bean field in full gear, and just stand there looking at a bean field. It is just the most. You question your sanity. Why did I join up in the United States military for this? It is terrible, but it had a purpose. You got to protect the troops, so I get it. But it is just the worst job on the planet for a guy that wants to go out and unleash hell in the world. You're standing there doing nothing. So it was pretty tough.
So Kosovo is more of a force protection deployment for you, and then Iraq becomes a more offensive.
Oh no, yeah, they took the
mission for you.
Yeah.
What was your? Yeah, how did that? What was that experience like for you? You and I talked about it. Is that something you'd like to share today?
Sure. We Iraq was different because we were
all right.
A light scout, so we're in a Humvee. We have 10 trucks in our platoon, 50 cals, Mark 19s, grenade launchers. For some of you that don't know, an automatic grenade launcher or a 50 caliber machine gun was what was on top of our vehicles. But the infantry battalion was mechanized, so they were using Bradley fighting vehicles. So they're heavy. They have the grunts in the back. They can drop the ramp, but they're big, they're loud, they're heavy. People know you're coming. A Humvee's a little bit different. We're a little bit more agile. We can move around a little bit different. So we were trained a lot like the infantry. I mean, we became door kickers, and of course that's in our wheelhouse and our experience and things like that. But we just did a lot of QRF, quick reactionary force, where you have to sit all your gear ready to go. When the alarm went off, you had 60 seconds to be in your truck and move it toward the front gate. So we became the 911 response team for our sector. So anytime that someone would get engaged in a battle and okay, we're engaged, send in the QRF, the 10 of us could run out there with our trucks and be an instant light backup or pull people out if we had to. We could escort medics, we could run ammo, we could do whatever the mission needed because of our light maneuverability and the amount of people we had in our platoon. You're talking 40 guys, 3 to 4 to a truck, depending on who went and who stayed behind. So we were able to maneuver around Iraq a lot better, and the size of the environment. The cities are just, for people that have been there, they're terrible. There's no roads. Right. The infrastructure's crap. It's like we call it an alleyway here. They call that a highway. So to get tanks and Bradleys to maneuver in some of those areas we can go wherever we want. And if there's not a hole, we'll just push it with our bumper and we'll create a hole with the brush guard. So that's kind of was
make one.
A lot of QRF, a lot of we kind of became professional kidnappers at one point because we were able to, because of our personnel, we weren't. It was true. But we would just go in with the special forces when they were.
I know. And you know what? Like
on manpower, we just link up with them.
You and I can sit here and laugh about it. And
it was your job.
You and I can sit here and laugh about it and use names and words and identifiers, and civilians are going to be like, "Oh my God, how could you do that?" Well, let's be realistic here, ladies and gentlemen. We are in that environment, so you don't have to be. Right. Let's be clear on that. We are over there, so you don't have to be. So that kind of stuff doesn't come to you here in the States. So whatever we did under duress in war, we were either ordered to do or we had to do. So yes, we're going to make jokes about it. Yes, we're going to be dark humor about it. Yes, that's what we're going to do because we lived it, you didn't. That's just the bottom line on that one. And yeah, sometimes you're a professional kidnapper. I can remember I went into a place that was shut down. I leave the engines running. I drop the door, guys with guns, throw 25 people on board. We put the door back up speed the engines, and we take off. Like,
yep.
I don't know who them guys are, but they're on my airplane and I got to get the hell out of here. Right. Yep. Like that's the kind of stuff that we did. So, I laugh with you on the professional kidnapper.
That's right.
Part. So I want to talk real quick, if we may, about your final mission. Go ahead.
They were wanted for questioning for powers way above my pay grade, so that wasn't my job. My job was to go find them, get them back, and load them on airplanes. Right?
Just go get them.
That's it. Your job's to kick the door and go find them.
I did my job, sir. Yeah. I'm out. I'll see you. Yeah, I'll see you later. So let's talk about, if we may, the final mission that you had over there, and the one that really kind of impacted you the most, the one that forced you out. I don't want to say forced you out. That's not probably the right term, but really contributed to your decision to not re-enlist. Yeah. Can we talk about that mission real quick?
Sure. We were doing in Fallujah. It's an honor and a blessing, I guess. And a curse. It's all wrapped into one big, beautiful monster, if you will. It's I was honored. There was 378 U.S. Army soldiers that were attached to the Marine Corps for Operation Phantom Fury to retake the city of Fallujah. And so in November of 2004, we did that. We launched an assault on Fallujah. We got all the women and children out. We gave them cities all around, out of the city, away for safety. And we told any military-aged male, call your cousin, call your buddy, call your friend, meet us in Fallujah, and we're going to have it out, and we're just going to kill each other. And that's exactly what we did. We went in there and tried to take out as many bad guys and reclaim the city as we could. There's plenty of television specials on it on History Channel and Discovery and the rest of them that you can look it up and see what that mission was like. But yeah, that's where I earned my Purple Heart. 40% of my platoon took a Purple Heart in that engagement. It was an honor and a blessing and a curse, to have that mission. But I got to sum it up quickly. I don't want to go too deep into it today. But yeah, we were kicking doors and chasing bad guys, and we kicked one that had 6 insurgents waiting for us, guns at the ready, fully automatic weapons. And they put 10 rounds into 3 of us real quick. My staff sergeant in front of me took, 2 in the neck, 1 in the chest, 1 in the hand. I took 5, and the one behind me, Sergeant Jenkins, he took a bullet in the ribs. And so we got tore up quickly. And after that battle in Operation Phantom Fury, I kind of lost a step in my warrior, in my level of intensity. You either call it, brains or brawn, right? You got to either have guts or you got to have brains or a little bit of both. To have that job, you got to be half crazy, but you got to know your job. But when you lose a little bit of it, and instead of when a bullet rings out and you hear a gunshot, instead of turning toward it and running toward it and saying, "Where's he at? I'm gonna kill him," and you start to pause and say, "Where did it come from? And where can I maneuver to? And how do I defend myself. You lose that warrior, you lose that step. And for me, getting shot 5 times in a doorway, I lost a step. And I noticed, so that was in November. I left in March. Between about December, after I kind of healed up and had my surgery and got back in the fight, December to February, I wasn't the same NCO and combat leader that I used to be. I was a little bit more hesitant. My decision-making was a little bit flawed. It's fear is what it is. You're like, I tell people, when you're a cat and you have 9 lives and you spend 7 of them in one day, you're kind of leery about the other 2. And it's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. So I felt like I lost that step in that mentality. And how do you lead men in combat if you're not willing to lead from a position that I felt personally, you have to be this type of leader or get the hell out, because we had a mindset of lead, follow, or get out of the way. Either you go follow your leader because he's a great leader, get out of the way because you suck, and you step up and be a leader. You just don't. Complacency and things like that were not an option. So I wasn't the combat leader that our unit needed me to be and who I felt I had to be. So after my time was up, I signed up for 3 years. We had a stop loss. I did 4 and some change. I didn't have the opportunity. I should have got out before the war, but they stop lost everybody, and we're going with the numbers that we have. And that's fine. I'm okay with that. But I couldn't see a career 12 or 15 years down the road as a leader of men in combat for deployment number 2 and 3 and 4 because of the experience I had in number 1. It just too many bullets, too many bombs, too many boo-boos. And I thought, you know what, I'm not going to be the man that I need to be and the leader in combat that I need to be. So I'm going to not re-enlist. This isn't for me anymore.
Is it safe to say, and there's no disrespect here whatsoever, if I were shot 5 times walking through a door, I think I'd be scared shitless too. Is it safe to say that your level of commitment kind of took a hit after walking through that door? Because you didn't get medevac. You didn't leave the unit. You came back and finished. Like you had your tour. You came back and did it, and you did multiple missions afterwards. You tried to get back into the fight, and you had some self-doubts. Is that fair to say?
Yeah.
Yeah. And it affected you, right? Like you start holding on to that negativity. You got out in March of 2005. What was that transition like? Because you immediately left combat. You come back, you separate, and now you're a civilian.
Right.
Like you're less than 6 months from getting shot, and you're back in, was it Avon, Indiana? I think you said you retired.
I was back in my hometown in Indiana.
You came back to Indiana.
Yeah.
So you come back to the hometown, and I know what I went through. And when you're not an active military member anymore, whether it's a reservist or a guardsman or active duty, and you come back to that town, things look different, right? People look different. You're holding your head a little differently, right? You're on edge. Did you experience any of that fight or flight, fighting the world? Everybody's out to get me. I'm no good as a civilian. What was that transition like for you, especially given the recency of your attack and your separation, how close they were in time?
Well, I'm lucky. I'm very, very fortunate. The timing. I wasn't married during my time in service. Thank God for that, because that would be a whole other layer of complexities there.
Right.
The married guys had
it's a whole nother ball.
You just gotta go fight the war and not worry about the home life, man. It was, so I'm very fortunate there. But I did meet a woman.
Yeah.
My wife now, Julie. I met her when I came back, and that was probably one of my saving graces, to have a strong woman to stand beside you and work with you through those things. So I had her. At the time, I had Jim Beam. He helped a ton. I mean, it was Jimmy was my best friend. We got together on a daily.
I had Jack Daniels.
Yeah, Jimmy was my buddy. Him and Miller Lite to wash it down just so you felt like you weren't going too far. I joke about it now. It was a problem for a long time. I was a very, very, very good functioning alcoholic
Absolutely
for a lot of years. But that's how you coped with it. That's how I coped with it. Was alcohol was a big part of my life. My wife helped me through a lot of it. I had a good group of old vets. They were a lot of Vietnam era guys that kind of wrapped their arms around the young kid that just came home. They were there. It was a combat support group that met once a week, a couple times a month. And they were a big influence in my life at that time. But you hit it well. You come back to the same people doing the same thing. I've been gone for 4.5 years at that point, and lived a life that they only see on TV and can read about in books, and it's wild. It was a lot of ups and downs, and there's a lot of fun, and there was a lot of heartache and a lot of pain in there. But you come back, they're the same people doing the same thing, and you're not. Whether you like it or not, you're not the same person you were when you left. And so that I struggled with that, because they're just picking up right where you left off when you get there, and you fall back into the same old crowd doing the same old things. And we tried that for a couple of years and realized that this just isn't where we want to be. And my wife, I said, hey, my brother's in Dallas. Let's move to Dallas, Texas. Let's pack up. So we packed everything up and moved to Dallas. And thank God she supported that, and she's always been by my side. So we went to Dallas for a couple of years. And then that kind of is where the iRacing came about, when we were in Dallas, because once I get to Dallas, I don't have any friends, whether they're old friends, new friends, or, the old life I had. It was a whole new life, but I had at that point now nobody. So now I have a young daughter. She's 6 at the time. And
a completely different environment.
Yeah. A complete, not just moved to a different county or a different town.
What year was this?
Oh, man. 12 years ago. So you're talking, what is that, 14?
14, 15?
I probably moved.
15, somewhere in there.
13. Okay. Yeah, 12 or 13 is when we moved down there. But now I got a daughter, and I'm taking her to kindergarten, and I'm home all day, just sitting alone all day with no friends, I don't have a job. What am I going to do today? And you just start tripping over yourself, and you just start searching for something. We were searching for something when we went to Dallas. I didn't know what it was I was looking for, but I knew living in my hometown wasn't it. So I'm like, man, I've always loved racing. I've always wanted to get into racing. I started looking at go-karts and tracks, and how can I go race go-karts or something that we could somewhat afford, because obviously it's expensive. And then I heard Kenny Wallace one time on an interview or a show or something. He kind of just popped off. He's like, man, I don't give a shit if you race a hamburger on a Friday night at your local crap track, or a late model, or NASCAR. He's like, you go race what you can afford and just go have fun. And I was like, man, he nailed it. It doesn't matter what you're racing, just go have fun and go compete. And so through a lot of research, I found iRacing. And this is 12 years ago, when iRacing isn't near what it is today. And I went out and bought a little cheap $200 wheel and pedal set, strapped it to the edge of a desk, and had back then a very large 13-inch flat screen monitor. It's about 8 inches from your nose so you can see it, and you're trying to drive, and it was, I would love to have that set up now, just as a picture. Yeah, you're trying to get in there, like, oh, baby. It was terrible. But man, I thought I was king.
Feel like you're racing Mario Kart with the kids, man. Like you're in a real live Mario Kart.
I'm ready to take on the world, man, and it was terrible. But I had a lot of fun. But you're in the iRacing server. For those of you that have been in iRacing know what I'm talking about. There's hundreds of thousands of people. You don't know anybody. You might never race the same guy twice. You're racing, you're having fun, but it's only so much fun because it's just you playing a game at that point. Yes, it's a great simulator, but it's just a game at that point. And it's diversion therapy. You're just taking your mind off of whatever you're dealing with for the moment, for the day, for the week. But it was missing something. And that kind of, once this segues a little bit further, down the road here, but I knew I was missing something, and I didn't know what it was at the time. It was just this is fun, but it's only so fun because it's just a game. I could get on Xbox or PlayStation and do the same thing. So
Yeah,
this is something I didn't know what it
still
was.
fighting.
Yeah,
You're
there's
still fighting everything you do. Yeah.
So I do it, and I've been on my racing server for 12 years. I probably raced 100 times in 10 years of it because I just 2 or 3 times a year get on and I go, that was fun. And then I would sell my rig, and then I would build a new one, or I'd sell it and buy a new one. I've probably on rig number 9 at this point. It's sitting here, because my wife's like, "Are you
are a racer?
Again?
You're a racer.
Are you going to do that again?" And
I quit. I quit. I'm back.
Yeah, but there's always something missing to keep me engaged and tied to it. And now, obviously, when I found Goatlocker, I realized I didn't understand it at the time, but I understood what was missing, and that was the brotherhood and the connection aspect of it all.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. How did you find Goatlocker, and how did that process go to lead you to where you are today? Because you said, you spent about 12 years on iRacing and not getting what you wanted, not finding what you were searching for on there.
Right.
And, hey, Daniel Crackeel and Nick are both on too. So, hey Dan, hey, Nick, thanks for joining us today. Really appreciate it. We did have a comment from Charles. Charles said he wanted to share his story. So hopefully Charles will email us here at the show. It's right down here at TuesdayTalk@save22.vet. Charles was talking about working with the SAS at the time and how they are such a great group of individuals. I too have some experience with those guys, and it's incredible the caliber of individuals that you end up working with when you're in a war. Mm-hmm. And you're 100% correct. You don't know what you're missing, right? Let's be clear. In that transition, for me, it was, I have a full-time job. I'm still married. I have my wife. I have my kids. There's still things for me to look forward to. I work on an air base. I don't work on an air base. I work for the federal government, and I get to travel to airports and maintain aircraft systems and airport systems. Like I'm still going to have that interaction, right? I'll be okay. And I wasn't. It was completely different. For me, there was something about being on that flight line with those guys, fixing aircraft or flying a mission, or even doing the proficiency stuff around we call it flying the flagpole, where you're doing touch and goes for 4 hours a night, right? There's something about being with those guys, doing something that very few other people do, that when you come home and you don't have that avenue, you don't have that outlet, you don't know what you're doing. And it doesn't happen to everybody, but it does happen to a lot of us. And in my travels with Save 22 over the last couple of years, that's the main thing that I hear is, I have a job, I have my wife, I have my kids, I'm still busy, but I just don't feel like I did back then. What am I missing? Well, for you, it was some sort of camaraderie, some sort of brotherhood, that outlet. You and I spoke a little bit that weekend, where it felt like, at least it feels like to me, in the civilian population, there are very few individuals who have the drive, motivation, commitment, and discipline to commit to things, to take accountability of themselves and say, this is what I had taken part in. This is my piece of this puzzle that we're doing. And they don't have that, right? They don't have and it's no fault of theirs, right? It's just not what they've been experienced with. So you're surrounding yourself with individuals who don't have that drive. They don't have that commitment. They don't have that mission and purpose, like Nick just said, like the rest of us have. So you feel like there's something wrong with you. And the reality is, there is nothing wrong with you. You have a lived experience of a 30-year-old who spent 5 years in the military, 4 years in the military, and 16 months in combat. Let's be realistic here. And the people around you don't have that experience. So you think there's something wrong with you. There's nothing wrong with you. You just have a different lived experience. Right. So to find those other individuals with those same lived experiences, I think, is paramount. And for you to find it on iRacing through Goatlocker is incredible. And the search, let's be clear, man, you took a long time in that self-suffering, right? Yeah. You stayed a lot of years in that, the Jim Beam bottle, the Miller Lite, the fight in the world. What was your home life like at that time, if you made, from your perspective? Right now, we could bring your wife on and talk about that another day. But for you, what was your home life like before you got into this mission and purpose of Goatlocker?
When we left Dallas, we ended up eventually leaving Dallas and coming back to Indiana. We tried the same old tricks, right? But left Dallas to go back to our hometown again because Dallas wasn't any fun. So again, you're searching for something. You're moving your family across the country. That cost us thousands of dollars, and we had to stay with my brother in his house, and it was cramped, and we lost tens of thousands of dollars making 2 moves across the country searching for something. Then we came back, and I said, well, I'm not going to work for anybody else because they're an idiot. That was my thought at the time. I knew I had the whole world figured out. But the fact was I didn't have anything figured out. It was all,
I got it all. I know everything.
Yeah. But it was just the difficulty trying to work with a civilian that maybe I wouldn't align with and getting upset with. So we created a small business that I worked at. That wasn't it. We sold it and we moved here to work to Indianapolis to give our daughter some better opportunities in the school system. And when we were here, I found a job that I did for 7 years, and it was extremely high stress and a ton of hours. And it was a good diversion therapy works really well with veterans. Just let me say that, because I dove into that job head first, used it as diversion therapy, worked a ton of hours, rose from part-time to full-time to supervisor to manager to director, and just worked my brains out for this company. And just getting drunker and cooter brown at night. And that was just a 7-year stretch. And that was life, And that job, we parted ways. I was a manager for them, and we parted ways. And during that time, while I was working there, I was introduced to Pat at Goatlocker. He's 15 minutes, 20 minutes down the road from me. We were introduced by a mutual friend, and we just went to lunch one day, and that's kind of how that started. And I started using some connections through the world that I had in my other job. So started networking some people together, connecting Pat with some people, got to be a part of Goatlocker to understand the mission, started racing again for the first time and, on a weekly basis for the first time in 10 years versus, 2 or 3 times a year. Did that for a little bit. And then my boss and I parted ways. And so now after 7 years with this company, I'm kicking the can around the house again. And now I don't know what I'm going to do. I don't know where I'm going to go or how I'm going to do it. And I'm out door dashing, just for something to do and to earn a couple bucks. And Pat one day and I go to lunch and he's like, hey, some point in my future, we're going to have to get somebody on board here that can come in and help us out on the nonprofit side. And at the time, I don't know if ignorance or what, it just went right over my head. And I came home that night, and it's like 8:30 at night. I was like, wait a minute. That's my job. There's nobody more qualified than me. I'm a veteran. I was a firefighter for 2 years. I was an EMS captain for 2.5 years. I've got the first responder, the military. I've been on iRacing for 12 years. I used to be a manager in the sales department. I've got the connections and I have the skill set to do this job. This is my job. So I sent him an email and said, hey, this is my job. I'm taking it.
I'm already doing it.
I have a choice, so we joke about it. I kind of forced myself into a situation. No, it's been great. Once I got to understand the purpose of Goatlocker and what it's done for me, and that was the thing that I was missing all those years, was just the connection to the community. And now that we have the digital community, we have our Discord with all of these people coming together and jumping to help one another. We have in-person engagements. We have the racing. We have all this connection and camaraderie. We still get to compete. It's great because we have guys from the Vietnam era in our league they're competing with guys that are still that are 20 years old. Where else are you going to get to do that? Your age, your location, what you did, where you did it, none of that matters. We're just out here having fun, racing, diversion therapy. And that's why I'm so passionate about it now. I know what Goatlocker has done for me, so the least I can do is do the best that I can for them.
I hear in your voice, I heard you say, wait a minute, this is me. I'm already doing this. Why not make it official? Dave Cryer last year told me a fantastic line. We were down at Counter Steer, the nonprofit event that he puts on every year, dirt track motorcycles. And he teaches you how to get into a corner, how to get out of a corner, how to ride the bike, how to sit on the bike. He teaches you all these things. And one of the things that he said to me was, Johnny, if you don't listen to the whispers, all you're going to hear is screams. And I think Pat whispered in your ear, right?
Yeah.
Equally, he whispered in your ear, hey, man, this is for you. I want you. And it took you a minute to realize he's offering you your therapy. He's offering you a chance to do what you do and help others. And I think when we, the veteran, realize that we have a purpose to help others in some way, we're all about it, because for so long we never thought about ourselves.
Right.
So we're not thinking about ourselves when we go into this, right? You're thinking about how can I make it better for somebody else?
Yeah. When
in reality, you're making it better for you, which makes it better for others.
Yeah.
Right. You're learning how to communicate. You're learning how to manage emotions, manage feelings, thoughts, how to communicate, right? I can't communicate the way I communicated in the military. I got to learn how to communicate better. You're learning all these things and you're open to it. So kudos to you for, number one, hearing the whisper before you heard the scream.
Yeah.
And number two, for taking it and making it your own and growing it into what it is now. Goatlocker has a, I don't know how to explain this to the layperson. You guys broadcast your main series stuff. Is it 6 nights a week now or 7? I can't remember.
6 with a podcast.
You have races 7 nights a week, but you broadcast. Yeah. Okay, so you broadcast 6 nights a week, these races, these iRacing races. And if anybody remembers back in COVID, when we were all locked down and forced to stay at home, NASCAR actually did some iRacing and broadcasted those. How does somebody get involved? We have the Goatlocker website right down here at the bottom. I'm going to go ahead and put up your email real quick, if that's okay with you.
Yeah, don't email me. I'm on the nonprofit side. I'm not going to be worth a dime.
Okay to put your
hooked up to. You can put my email up there for people that want to.
All right, so we're going to go ahead and.
Yeah. Yeah, if you're going to contact me, it's for the nonprofit side. I have no idea on the competition side. All you have to do is go on the website and click the race with us, fill out the application, and they'll get you into the Discord and get you all the people that handle that side of it. There's people in place for that. It is definitely not this guy. I'm terrible.
There are. I apologize. I did not see the separation, so I apologize on that. Andy does run the nonprofit side of the house. He is the one that goes out, finds and gets partners and sponsors and talks about Goatlocker and what they do and how they do it. And he tries to find support for Goatlocker, and he's doing a phenomenal job. You guys have been around, I think, 3 years now. This is your 3rd year as an official nonprofit. You're broadcasting 6 nights a week, plus a live broadcast podcast on Thursday nights. Yep. You do a Discord channel that is open. My understanding of Discord, because I don't understand it, is it's 24 hours. Yep. Right? There's always something going on there. You have individual groups inside there. You have people inside there. We at Save 22 are proud to announce that this year we have Nick Trussell acting on behalf of Save 22 inside of Goatlocker. So Nick is a Save 22 advocate inside of Goatlocker Racing, and Nick races the ARCA series. Let's talk about that real quick, because individuals listening right now and want to get involved in this, they might think that you can only jump into the series that you broadcast, and that's not true.
No.
You guys have multiple levels, multiple disciplines, different cars, different series, different tracks, all through iRacing. And you can start off as I think you even have a street stock division, do you not? Like,
no,
something to the effect of a run what you brung type deal on a local track.
No, we have 11 different series that take place over 7 nights of the week. Some of those are broadcast, some of those are not. But you're welcome to race any of those that you want. We have ARCA, you have sports cars, which is GT3 LMPs. Wednesday's Cup. Thursday is MX5 and Sprint and Dirt late model. Friday is trucks. Saturday, IndyCar. I forgot Thursday is also Indy NXT, the Indy Next. Greatest car in iRacing. Ton of fun. You got to try it. Saturday's IndyCar. Sunday is the Gen 4 and also the O'Reilly's Xfinity. We call it the Grand National Series. So there's 11 different options and opportunities, whether you're a road guy, a dirt guy, an oval guy, NASCAR, IndyCar, open wheel. Just find one that you like, get in there, jump in, practice with us, get some guys. There's all these channels. The Discord community, there's channels for I need coaching help, I have a question, VA resources, military resources, all these different things to help the veteran and first responder cope, educate, heal. There's just, I haven't counted them. There's got to be 100 channels in that Discord. Whatever you need, there's someone there inside of our community that can help you. It may not be me. I'm on the nonprofit side. My specialty, Pat and I work to keep the nonprofit side to generate funds and make sure we get as many rigs donated as we can. That's kind of our bread and butter. There's people that have different specialties throughout Goatlocker. They're going to help with whatever situation you have. And if anybody saw the broadcast last night, obviously I need the coaching help going into turn 1. Barrett, still sorry about that, but that's a whole other topic. So
Patrick's over on YouTube right now. He's listing the series and what's racing, and he's coming through with Monday night is ARCA, Tuesday is your Sportsters, Wednesday is Cup Cars and MX5. I'm having a little vision issue right now.
Yeah.
So, is there a cost to people to race inside of Goatlocker? Is this a free service? How does the veteran race? Right? What do they have to do?
Go on our website. Pat mentioned it. You kick the Race with Us tab. We'll get you taken care of. We'll get you into the Discord. We'll get your number assigned. You tell us what series you want to run. We'll get you everything figured out on the tech side to get you up and running within Goatlocker. Figure out what you want to race, and then just come race with us. There's no cost. There's never going to be a cost. There's not a membership fee. It's all free to anyone that wants to race with Goatlocker. The mission is always going to be the veteran and first responder first. We are a veteran and first responder league. We're open to anybody, so it's not exclusive. But the mission is always going to be to support the veteran and the first responder in all things for them. So that's our mission. Racing is just the fun part, the diversion therapy part. But the mission for us is always going to be about the warrior.
Yeah, let's be clear here, guys. While the iRacing is the therapy, Goatlocker has created a network of individuals inside of Goatlocker with a ton of experiences for the veteran and the first responder, whether it be VA help, whether it be home, issues. Most of us are willing to sit and talk with anybody about what's going on with them just to make sure that they spend another day with us. I would rather spend 3 hours talking to you about your issues and your problems and what you're struggling with than to attend your funeral or your wake. Right. So there are many people inside of Goatlocker. In fact, Pat was diffusing a situation while we were down in Columbus. He had to step away for a while and take a call and talk to some people right there. We're all there for the same purpose. We're all here to help others, right? That's it. It's not just about racing and setup and what sticker package looks best on my ARCA car on Monday night, right? Or can I transfer this over to my GT car? Look, man, I'm really struggling with my daughter, right? She's a 15-year-old. She's a cheerleader. And I can't seem to talk to her. I don't like, it's always a fight. What do I do? How can I help? And then you pull that aside and you have a little conversation with them off on the side. This is the brotherhood that we talk about, because if you remember when we were deployed, you had these conversations about nothing in the middle of nowhere with people you'll never forget. Let's just be honest about that.
Yeah.
Right. And those guys and gals got you through some of the hardest times of your life. So why wouldn't you reach out now when you're having hard times in your life? Why wouldn't you reach out to those battle buddies that you spent that time with, that have the same experiences, that maybe have learned a little bit, right? That aren't perpetuating the sadness, aren't perpetuating the anxiety and depression. They're actually working on things to help themselves and to help others. That's what I feel Goatlocker and iRacing are doing over there. And I couldn't thank you enough for what you're doing. I know Nick is having a phenomenal time doing it. He just texted us pictures last night. He actually got a great finish. He felt very good about it. He's excited to keep going with it. This will be his first season of racing with inside of Goatlocker with the ARCA series. So we're excited to see where that goes. And thank you to Goatlocker and you for making this possible for Nick and for Save 22. So Patrick has put on the YouTube chat there what they're racing and what is broadcast. As we said, Wednesday night is Cup Cars in the MX5. Thursday night is Go Talk Live at 8 o'clock. They also have the Dirt Series and the Indy NXT Series. Indy Next Series is what that is called. Friday is the trucks. 2 truck series run at the same time. 1 is for beginners. So there you go. You don't have to be a pro to come in. You can be a beginner in the truck series. Saturday is IndyCar. Sunday is Gen 4 in the Grand National Series. And these are all broadcast, if I remember correctly, on V-Speed, correct?
Yeah. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, all V-Speed. Thursday's Goat Talk Live on Above the Yellow Line Media. Friday, Saturday, Sunday, all V-Speed. Yep.
And you mentioned another fantastic partner, Taylor Kitchen from Above the Yellow Line Media. We met Taylor a couple years ago. She has grown. We have grown. We are all nurturing each other in this in this thing we call life and how we're making this stuff happen. So kudos to Taylor for recognizing and bringing on Goat Talk Live. We're really happy to hear that. So Taylor's got some incredible stuff inside Above the Yellow Line. If you're into motorsports and racing, she has got some great people that are hands-on at the track, in the know, the behind-the-scenes stuff. So check out Above the Yellow Line Media and Taylor Kitchens. Skyman says there's a race for anybody, everybody. Nick says, shout out to Taylor. Hey, Nick is the one that was down, and I want to say, I think it was Martinsville Nick was at, and I think Taylor saw the Save 22, or Nick saw the Above the Yellow Line, and they made the connection. And here we are now 2 years later, 3 years later. We are all partners with the same type of mission, the same goal, and I couldn't be happier with it, man. We get to be involved in racing in all forms, some sort of motorsports. We're going to be taking people to the track for some incredible experiences. Those are coming up. Don't jump just yet, right? We're in the scheduling phase right now, guys. We're in the scheduling phase. We have some things happening in the future. Partnerships to be at the races, right? We don't know what that's going to look like or how many we're going to be bringing, but I'm really excited for 2026. Andy, I want to ask you, is there any advice that you would give anybody listening right now who might be fighting the world? Fighting their own head, fighting their own demons. We call him Damien. Who's fighting Damien in whatever way. What type of advice would you give them now based on your own experience? What would you tell that guy right now?
The enemy loves it when you're alone, because that's when you're at your weakest. You have to surround yourself with like-minded people. For me, this community, like Goatlocker, Save 22, things like that. The reason what makes it so successful is it's a group of people that always had the belief others before self. Any veteran, any first responder knows what it's like. That's your whole life. Your whole life is others before self. It's about everybody in my unit, in my group, union platoon, left and right of you before me. So when you take on that mindset, and it's the same thing with Goatlocker, everybody still has, you can still see it on our Discord. 2 o'clock in the morning, somebody says they're having a problem. Someone will answer that and say, hey, I may not be the best person, but if you talk to so-and-so, they just went through that a year ago. They can help you work through that. So one is be alone. Find a group of people that have similar beliefs and similar goals and missions, and that is others above self. Civilians may not understand that. A lot of them do because they're great people, and a lot of them don't because they've never been exposed to it. And that's just the reality of it. It's not a knock on them. It's just the reality. They've never been put in that position. So that's what I want to say. Don't be alone. Don't fight it alone. You have to connect with someone. You have great partners. And to me, the partnerships and the support that we get, we can't thank our supporters and our sponsors and our people that support us enough because they don't get to see it every day. Like someone in Pat's position or my position or some of the key leaders of Goatlocker, they don't get to see the impact that it has every single day. They just say, hey, this sounds great. We love to support you guys. But like Save 22, Above the Yellow Line Media, the partnerships that we have are what makes this thing work. We can't do it without the support, without the financial backing, without the media exposure, without making the awareness to get that next person that's alone and needs help. Without that support, we're just not going to be able to reach them. It's the reality of today's society. Your heart can feel as good as you want. Without the dollars and the people to help push the mission, we can't move it. So it's, just connect with others above self. And just a huge, huge thank you. Save 22 is a proud sponsor and supporter of Goatlocker Racing. They have been. They're continuing to be. Above the Yellow Line, all of our sponsors, there's so many of them. We just can't thank you enough because we get to see the impact, the end result when we go to deliver a sim rig and how we change that person's life and give them an in-home therapy device to use and take advantage of our online community and be a part of our group. We get to hear the stories. We get to see that connection. You guys at the other end of it don't get to see that every day. And that's unfortunate. But there are just so many stories, success stories. Pat could write a book just on the things that we talk about. And he's like, I talked to so-and-so last week and you won't believe it. And, they offered this and they want to help here and they want to help here. And, I'm struggling with this, you're struggling with that. It's just, you could write a book about all the success stories and a lot of the stories that rewrote that would have been bad if it wasn't for the Save 22s and the Goatlockers of the world. And it's not about reaching 1,000 people a day. It's about reaching the one and stopping that one from altering history. And how do we do that? We just got to keep going and
one.
Yeah. And Dan, thank you very much. You teed it up perfectly. How can the viewer today support Goatlocker in that mission and help keep us in the fight? Go on our website. It's right there at the bottom of the screen. There's a tab called Pit Crew. Join the Pit Crew. If you want and you believe in what we're doing, reaching veterans, first responders, and even non-veterans and non-first responders, don't think that we're not helping them too. They just don't have the same context we do. But there's a whole handfuls of non-veteran and non-responders that are in our league that you can hear their story too. What has Goatlocker done for them? And they'll tell you the same things that the vets do. It's been a huge outlet and a huge release. Go on to the Pit Crew. It's $20 a month if you want to support our mission. Join our team. That's for an individual to join. If you are a small business or corporate America, small business, we'd love to partner with you. It's $100 a month. It's the Pit Crew team. A chance for your smaller to medium-sized businesses to get involved and feel like they're on the race team and they're part of the team, and they will be supporting our mission. And if you're a large, hey, Pepsi, Coke, Chevy, Ford, if you're watching this, call me. We like big checks too. So we're happy to work with large companies as well. But any support, don't ever think that a $5 donation goes lost. It doesn't, because if we can get 100 $5 donations, now we're making some traction. It's all one mission.
$500.
Yeah. We just gotta. People don't understand the impact 5 minutes can have or $5 can have. It really does mean something, especially for small groups like ours.
Yes, absolutely.
We're not one of the big guys.
It does. It means a lot.
$40 million budget.
It means a lot.
Yeah.
No.
If people knew, it's something.
No, we're not. And both of us are in the public.
Yeah, Pat, you're watching. Maybe we'll do
ahead.
this today. We'll release the numbers. But if they knew how many people it took to run Goatlocker on a daily basis and our yearly payroll budget, they would their mouth would be hanging open. They wouldn't understand how you can have that many people working for that amount of money, which is that much money a year. it's astronomical the amount of labor hours that go in to keep Goatlocker returning every day, every month, and the amount of money that goes to payroll. It's almost non-existent. It's all volunteer. And people just don't understand $5 is a huge deal. Just keep doing
the fact that the Goatlocker and Save 22, if they were to pull up our financials, I think they'd be amazed, right? And then they hear how much we each do. They hear what we do and they're like, wait, that's you guys? Yeah, that's us. And how did you do that? Well, I don't know. We just did it. Right. I don't know. I went over to I had an idea. I went to this guy. He said, yeah. And we did it. And I went to 100 people before that and they said no. And this one guy said yes. And that's what we did. So we went with it. And we do all these things as volunteers. Goatlocker their expenditures are incredibly low for admin people. You guys are right on in the same cusp as us, in the same category as us, as volunteers. And we get to do these things because of partners, because of sponsors. Lex June, Mike Harmon, Carson Brown Motorsports, Pepperjack Kennels, some of your sponsors, Lincoln Tech, right? Like Above the Yellow Line Media, the people that support what we do, and the people in the background. You've got about 50 people in the background that are making these races happen, from race directors, coordinators, announcers, schedulers, IT people. Eddie, listen, you and I talked earlier. If Eddie's listening, I have got a super man crush on Eddie. The way that man can manipulate and monitor and still talk about the races, he's incredible. And I got to get him on one of these days to talk to him, because the stuff that he does for Goatlocker is astonishing to me. So it really is. You've got some great participants over there, some great partners. Same with Save 22, Above the Yellow Line Media, everybody that contributes. Andy, what's next for Goatlocker, my friend? What's next? What does 2026 have in store for Goatlocker?
This will probably be our biggest year just for evolution, right? It's just a nature of we're growing,
right?
Bigger partnerships, new partnerships, things like that. More veteran engagements this year, more sim-rig donations this year. So for us, a lot of it is the fundraising. It sounds like we're all about money right now. We are, because the more money we get, the more veterans we can, and responders and people we can send to an engagement, an in-person engagement, the more rigs that we can give away, all of these things. The more that we can get, the more we can give out. I would love, the new headquarters. That didn't come, it's not free, although we got it darn near free. I mean, the amount of money that we got this.
You guys got it for a song. You got it for a song. Let's just say that. Let's just say you got it for a song. We don't have to say how much.
No,
we're got it for a song, and it is going to be
we
incredible.
Probably got a commercial space for 30% of it.
No.
Okay, I mean, we got a 70 or 80% discount. From
very well.
Phenomenal people. So again, it's that partnerships. They believe in what we're doing. They believe in the mission, and they're willing to take a financial hit because of it.
Right.
That impacts their pocketbook. And without these people, it's just insane. So what's 2026 hold? Moving into new headquarters.
We couldn't do it.
No, it's impossible. More engagements, more sim-rig donations, more connections, more assets. I think one of the goals for me is to connect more outside agencies like a Save 22. How do we get more agencies that specialize in a certain thing connected to Goatlocker and use it as an asset or a resource for those that it would apply to? So that's one of my missions. And just, the Pit Crew program, there's just so many initiatives Pat and I have. We have a whiteboard that is completely full of thoughts, ideas, things to chase down. How are we going to connect that dot to this dot? It's just going to be an extremely busy year, but boy, the growth is going to be worth it, because we know the impact. Again, we get to see it every day. We're so fortunate to be able to hear the stories and see it, the impact that it makes at the end user who says, thank you, this is what Goatlocker did for me. We're just there to facilitate it, and it's others above self. It's such a great position to be in. I'm the luckiest guy in the world. You know what I mean? It's that type of that feeling that I get for it.
It is that type of an environment. It is.
Yeah.
It is, and I'm super stoked for you. I'm very excited. Happy that we connected. I can't thank you enough for coming on here and sharing your story. Let's look forward to. We got a love from India at DB Gaming.
Well,
That's
hey,
pretty cool. You are now international, my friend.
thank you.
How
Thanks for
awesome is that, right? And our boy Daniel. I think Daniel's St. Louis, if I remember right. He is my man crush is Daniel Crackeel. If you know Daniel, and I don't know him personally, but I want Daniel, since you're listening, I want your story to come on here, because for the past year and a half, all I've heard about is this Daniel Crackeel guy from Pat, and how much he does for Goatlocker, and how selfless you are when it comes to things. And I want to talk to you, and I want to introduce the world to Daniel. I really do. So email me, Daniel, shoot me a text. Pat and Andy have all my information. I'd love to share your story and what Goatlocker did for you on Tuesday Talk in conjunction with Safe 22. So I think that would be phenomenal, man. Release the Crackeel. Yeah, absolutely. I got to tell you, the biggest surprise today is the fact that we're international over in India. So yeah, that's really cool. So thank you very much. I'm excited. Right? Like, this is great, man. This is great. I don't know if anybody saw at the beginning. I came in pumped up, man. I came in, I was jamming out to the intro song. I'm clapping my hands. I'm dancing my feet. Like this was going to be a good interview. And I think it lived up to the hype, Andy. I really do. And I'm excited. I'm pumped. I'm ecstatic. We've got the NASCAR racing this weekend, should the snow clear out there at Bowman Gray. You and I talked about that. That is not your favorite deal this weekend. Not something that you're looking forward to. You and I both feel we should go back to the history of NASCAR. We should go back and run that Busch Clash at Daytona. I really think we should. That's just who I am. Traditionalist, I think, is the word. Is that what we? Yeah. Is that what we're calling it? Traditional. Yeah. I want the traditional NASCAR back. I want unlimited horsepower, control in the driver and the crew chief hands. I want to see these cars go right. Let's put it in the driver. Let's make them do it. And yeah, we could go talk hours on the state of NASCAR right now. But Andy, thank you for taking the time. I'm going to let you go. I cannot wait to see you again. We're looking to do some pretty cool stuff this year at local tracks, possibly Toledo, Milan, Michigan, Dragway 42 over here by me, Columbus, Ohio, Indianapolis Raceway Park. We might be there with Carson Brown Motorsports, depending on how that partnership works out. That's going to be an incredible one. That kid's a shoe, man. That kid can drive almost anything. Yep. And I'm really excited to see where his career go. And we're beyond humbled that they chose us to be one of their philanthropic partners, So really excited for 2026 and everything that Goatlocker is going to be doing. Nick Trussell is going to be doing his thing for this year. Really excited for that. Again, thank you very much for being on here, man. I'm going to let you go. Yeah. One final word before we let you go, or do you think you've said it all, Mr. Talkative?
I've said enough today. They're ready for me to go. It's thanks for having me on, John. We appreciate what you're doing. Just thanks so much to anybody that supports us. Go on to Pit Crew, support us any way you can. We appreciate y'all, and it's all of us working others before self, and we're gonna make an impact. We are making an impact. Yeah. Thanks, John.
Thank you, my friend.
It. Yeah, thank you.
We are making an impact. We're not trying. We are.
That's right. We are. Yep.
Thanks.
Thanks.
Thank you, my friend. Thank you. All right. Oh, for crying out loud. What's going on with my computer stuff here? All right. That was Andy, Director of Operations with Goatlocker. I'm excited. I feel like that was a great interview, right? He talked about his experiences in the Army, how he struggled coming back and what that struggle felt like to him, and transitioning over, and it took him years, right? Let's be clear on that. He was inside of iRacing for 12 years, a handful of times every year, and he just wasn't getting what he needed. And then he has a conversation with Pat, and that whisper happens, and he's like, man, yeah, let's do it. And he's taken hold of that. He's made it his mission and his purpose. And it's given him an innate ability to speak with others about his own experiences and maybe help guide them through theirs. And that, in my opinion, is what life is all about. We are supposed to struggle. We are supposed to overcome, and then we're supposed to help others, right? So many of us veterans struggle with that identity afterwards, right? Like, I was a leader in the military. I fought in combat. I did all these amazing things. And now, right or wrong, our brain tells us, what now? What am I going to do now? Well, now you get to be a husband, a wife, a mother, a father, a brother. You get to be those things. And what is the definition of those things? Those are a teacher, a nurturer, a guider, somebody that can help you through those things. And we need to be able to take our experiences in the military and as first responders of seeing the worst of humanity, right? And let's be honest, that's exactly what it is. It is we go see the worst of humanity, and we came out of it, and we want to make it better. So how do we make it better? Do we continue to talk about the worst of humanity and the worst of ourselves, or do we talk about how we can do it and how we can make it better? Kudos to Daniel and Andy and Patrick and Eddie over there with all that they're doing with Goatlocker and their One Lap at a Time initiative. Fantastic stuff. Really, really fantastic stuff. I think that might be it for today. I think we're going to call it. I have next week on the agenda. I think it's next week. Yes, it is. So next week, we're going to be talking to a former Marine Lieutenant Colonel, 30 years of service, front end guy, right? Who struggled when he got out, and he now works with a company about this. It's a virtual reality type treatment. It's an approach to rewire the brain. And I'm really excited to talk to him about that. We're going to be talking Lad Shepard next week and Narova Labs. We're going to be talking about his story, what happened, what it was like, and what he's like now. And one of the greatest lines that he had in our pre-meeting conversation was, instead of going to therapy now and saying, F this guy and F that guy, and everybody's against me and I'm just failing everywhere, what he says now is, or not what he says now, the changing in his thinking is now that when he goes to therapy, he says, I'm having problems communicating this. I don't know how to communicate this. How can you help me communicate this better? So that really hit me because I struggle with communication. I know it's odd that I'm sitting here on a podcast live, and I've done how many episodes of this thing, but yes, I do still struggle with communicating. I struggle communicating with my wife, of all people, who I've been with for 28 years now. We've been married. This will be 26 years. I still struggle. And the struggle is communicating my wants and my needs. Not about in a selfish way, right? But what I'm trying to accomplish, right? Or what I'm trying to do. And I don't know how to communicate those effectively a lot of times. Got some comments over here on the YouTube. DB Gaming, again, thank you from India. That's incredible, man. Really, thank you very much. Whiskey Pete, much love. Thank you, my brother. You have no idea what it means to me, Pete, that you log in throughout your day to listen to the show. And I love you for it. I really do. Whiskey Pete uses music as his diversion therapy, and we got to go see him in a little intimate setting a couple weeks ago. I think it was before Christmas. And it was fantastic. And he just has a ball doing it. And he is very comfortable in himself up there playing music for other people. He's very engaging. And he's a pretty damn good guitarist and musician as well. So if you get the opportunity, check out Whiskey Pete. on Facebook, at least. I know he's over there. So go check out Whiskey Pete. Maybe we'll get Pete to come on one of these days, because Pete attended one of our events at Dragway 42 last year and got that VIP treatment, if you will. And I think he had a great time. And we're going to be offering more of those this year. We're going to have a new way to apply to these things. We are looking at revamping and relaunching our website and our motorsports program initiative. I think it's the end of this week, might be the beginning of next, but we're shooting for the 31st of January. It'll be an all new website relaunch. It'll be an all new program application launch. We're looking to engage more with the community and use less of our personal networks to get people to the track. If you saw last year with the IHRA shared our posts, and the IHRA used Safe 22 for their free admission to veterans. So you had to contact Safe 22 to get your free ticket to the IHRA Nitro Outlaw Series events. This year, we're looking for more of the same, waiting to finalize that deal real quick. This year with the NASCAR, we're looking to have, I think it's 5 races. That hasn't been concreted yet, but we are in the works for the very first one this year, which is going to be Darlington, March 22nd, March 21st, that weekend, March 22nd. So there'll be cup level passes to come down. We're working on a Safe 22 advocate to manage that event for us. Once we have that, we will release the application process and how to get involved in that down there that weekend in Darlington, South Carolina. One thing we do want to be clear of this year is, except for certain events, all travel to and from events will be at the expense of the veteran. Unfortunately, our funds don't allow us to procure travel for the veterans to the event. So we essentially rely on local or local-ish veterans to fulfill these events. If by chance there is a sponsor out there who would like to sponsor some travel money, maybe we can make that work a little bit differently. But as of right now, the veteran is going to be responsible for lodging and travel to and from these Safe 22 motorsports events. Should that change, you'll hear it right here first. So look out for IHRA events. NHRA event is a possibility. That's going to depend on Lex and what Lex does and what our other partners say if we can go over there into the NHRA. And then at the NASCAR level, we have a partnership inside of NASCAR with NASCAR to attend, like I said, I think it's 5 events this year. Man, I don't want to release just ones just yet because we're not really 100% sure. They haven't been confirmed. Just know that Darlington is number 1, and that is going to be March 22nd, that weekend. That weekend is also an IHRA event at Dunn, North Carolina, Galot Motorsports Park, Dorana Raceway now. And we are going to have, I think, Albert is going to be the point of contact for that one. So be on the lookout for that one. We are going to be down there for 3 days. We are going to have people at the NASCAR event. And then we also have our partner, Carson Brown. Carson Brown is doing some amazing stuff with the ASA series, the ARCA East series. I know those are his 2 commitments right now that he has, and we are looking for an incredible 2027 with Carson Brown. There are things happening. Charles says he lives in Washington State, so not much close to here, but that's okay. Charles, you'd be surprised, my friend, where our networks reach. So make sure that you apply when that comes out. It should be end of this week, beginning of next. And you're going to email me, so I'm going to have your contact information. Reach out. We're going to partner with Goatlocker as well. So Goatlocker is going to have the links for the Goatlocker peeps and following to apply to the Safe 22 events. We're also going to do some co-branded merchandise. I know people have been talking about that. This is all new for 2026. So give us a little leeway, right? We're all still learning, and we are all volunteers. So we are doing our best that we can. And if anybody is out there that knows how to do this stuff a little bit better or thinks that they can help us out in any way, please email us, TuesdayTalk, info@safe22.vet. Hit us up on any of the socials, message us through there. Riley and Albert manage the Facebook and Instagram accounts. So they'll be there to answer your questions there. get with Goatlocker. If you're inside the Goatlocker channels and mention the Goatlocker, you'd like to get in touch with Safe 22. We're going to try and make that process a little bit easier as well. That's all I have for this week, guys. Thank you to everybody who tuned in. We had one of our most engaging episodes ever. Really, really happy with that. Yeah. So hit us up. I'm going to put our email down here at the bottom. Our website information is going to be right here. Safe22.vet. Reach out on the phone right here. 1-833-I-SAVE-22. That's how you can get a hold of us via the phone. Somebody will answer. We have a service, right, that rotates the phone on who answers. Leave us a message if nobody answers. Send us an email at info. It's not there, so I don't want to put that up just yet. Tuesday Talk, Safe22.vet, right there. Right there. Be on the lookout. We've got multiple motorsports events this year across multiple platforms. And maybe next week we'll have another announcement for the local race fans regarding a certain motorsports park that is being revitalized as we speak. So tune in next week and we'll see what happens. See ya.
Echo, hearts laid bare, battle scars we all still wear. Through the storm, through the fight, searching for hope in the dead of night. No more hiding, no more shame, face the fire.